Hey guys, this is Miss Chandler, and today we're going to be talking about word problems. We're going to be trying to read some word problems and figure out if they're addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division problems. When you read a word problem, or as we sometimes call them, a number story, you want to visualize and look for the actions. So you want to create a picture in your mind or even on a piece of paper or a whiteboard. You want to create that picture about what's happening in the word problem, and you really want to look for the actions. You want to look for what the characters are doing. You want to know what is happening. Are they getting more or less of something? Are they creating groups or breaking them apart? And that will help you to know whether it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. If it's an addition word problem, you could answer a couple of questions. Are they getting more of something? Did they combine two or more things? Were they given something? If answers to those were correct, then you're probably going to be facing an addition problem. In an addition problem, you have one part plus one part equals a total. So for example, if you have one group of people or group of items, and then you bring another group of items in, you're trying to find the total. So you're trying to figure out how many there are all together in total. That's a part plus part equals total. You also may hear that called part plus part equals whole, part whole problems. It's the same thing. Part whole and part total are the same thing. I just like to use total because we use that word at school a lot. Subtraction problems. You could ask, are they getting less of something? Did they spend money? Are they looking for how many more or how many less they have? That would be a comparison problem where you're finding the difference. Are they trying to find out how much more they still need of something? In a subtraction problem, you start with the total, then you take one part away, and then you try to find what the part left over is. So over here, I have our groups already together. We have our total amount of people. We'll take one of the parts of the people away, and then we're left with the last part. So we try to figure out how many people are in that part. So you have total minus part equals part. So like with addition, you're trying to find the total. In subtraction, you already know the total and you're taking something away from that total. Multiplication. Are they creating groups of something? Are they trying to find out the total items in all groups? In multiplication, we often think of set models where you have your groups times the items in each group equals the total. So we have three groups over here, and we have 4 items in each. When we do multiplication, we're trying to find out what the total items are. So in this case, we try to figure out how many marbles there are all together. We're not trying to figure out how many groups there are or how many are in each group, because we already know that we started with that. In multiplication, we're trying to figure out how many items there are all together, so how many marbles there would be in the entire thing. In division, you would ask, are they splitting items into groups? And are they trying to figure out how many items are in each group? In division, just like subtraction, you start with the total, and then you're going to split them up into groups. And you're going to try to figure out how many items are in each group because you're trying to make equal groups. So for example, here, we have our marbles already set apart. So we already have our total marbles. We know how many we have. And we're going to be splitting them one by one into our groups to try to figure out how many items are in each group. We go one by one to split them up. There's 4 marbles in each group. So we divided 12 marbles and we split them equally into 3 groups. So this would be 12 divided by 3 equals 4 because there's 4 in each group. Let me click back through this real quick. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to grab a piece of paper or a whiteboard, and I want you to follow along with me. What we're going to do is we're going to read some word problems, and we're just going to decide, are they addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division word problems. What I want you to do is I'm going to read the problem to you. I want you to pause the video, write down what you think the answer is, and then I'm going to talk through the answer with you. So our first one says, Kyle is in the jump rope club. He practiced for 39 minutes on Friday and 57 minutes on Saturday. How much longer did he practice on Saturday than on Friday? So go ahead and pause your video and write down what you think the answer is. Not the number answer, but the operation. Now that you've played the video again, let's talk about the answer. You really want to pay attention to in the question here, it says how much longer did he practice on Saturday than on Friday? This is a comparison problem. We're trying to figure out how much greater the amount of minutes is on Saturday than on Friday. And we always know when we are comparing that we are going to be subtracting. So this was a subtraction problem. The next one says Ashley wants a new bike for her birthday. It costs $99.99. A helmet costs $29.55. How much will it cost if her parents buy the bike and a helmet? Pause your video and write down the operation. In this question, we want to talk about the fact that it says that she is buying a bike and a helmet. She's buying two things. So she's taking the cost from the bike and putting it together with the cost from the helmet. And because she's combining those two things, this is going to be an addition problem. She'd be adding those two costs together. Wyatt runs the mini basketball game. He gave away 23 prizes Friday night and 36 prizes Saturday night. How many more prizes did he give away on Saturday night than on Friday night? Here we want to pay attention to two things. First, we want to pay attention to the fact that he gave away prizes, which automatically, in my mind, when I'm thinking about someone giving something away, they're getting less of it because they're giving it to somebody else. So he starts with a certain amount of prizes, then he gives them away. You also want to look at the fact that it says how many more prizes did he give away on Saturday night than on Friday night. So number one, we have him giving away prizes. We also have a question that's asking us to compare Saturday and Friday night. And just like the other question at the beginning, this is a comparison problem. So we are going to be subtracting here. What you would do is you would subtract 36 minus 23, and that would tell you how many more prizes he gave away on Saturday night than on Friday night. Jonathan made 419 sandwiches on Tuesday. It's a lot of sandwiches. He made 160 more sandwiches than that on Wednesday. How many sandwiches did he make on Wednesday? So here you want to pay attention to the fact that he's making sandwiches and then he's making more sandwiches. So he started with 419 sandwiches and then he made 160 more sandwiches than that on Wednesday. To find out how many sandwiches he made on Wednesday, we would be combining those numbers together. We'd put them together to find the total amount of sandwiches that he made. So this would be an addition problem. Sam's mom bought pizza for the class. She bought 5 pizzas. Each pizza had 8 pieces. How many pieces of pizza are there? What you want to pay attention to here is that you have a word talking about each pizza, or a set of words talking about each pizza. So when I think of each pizza having 8 slices, I am visualizing in my mind 5 pieces of pizza, or 5 pizzas, and each one being cut into 8 slices. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then each one is being cut into 8 slices. So there would be 8 slices here, 8 slices here, 8 slices here, and 8 slices here. And you're trying to figure out how many pieces of pizza are there. So you have 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. Each pizza has 8 slices. Now you might initially think this is addition because you might think it's 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, and you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. You could use addition to solve this, but really this is a multiplication problem because you have 5 different groups, which are the pizzas, and each of those has 8 items or 8 slices in it. So you would be doing 5 times 8 to figure out the answer to this question. It would be multiplication. Tyler drew a picture of 14 dog bones. He drew 2 dogs to share the bones. How many bones should each dog get? So here we want to pay attention to the fact that Tyler is trying to split the dog bones up between each dog. So he has 2 dogs and he has 14 bones to give them. So what he's going to do is he's going to give 1 bone to each dog until he runs out to figure out how many each gets. You know how many bones you have in all because you have 14 bones. And then you're splitting them up between 2 groups, which is 2 dogs. So it'd be 14 bones divided by 2 dogs. And that's how you would find the answer to this question. This would be division because you're splitting up a total into equal groups. Both dogs are going to need to get the same amount of bones. Mrs. Brown bought 2 packages of tape. Each package contained 3 rolls of tape. How many rolls of tape did she buy? So here I'm visualizing Miss Brown getting the 2 packages of tape. And I know that packages of tape usually look like a box. So I would probably just visualize 2 boxes. And each of them contains 3 rolls of tape. How many rolls of tape did she buy? Well, we see that we're trying to figure out how many rolls of tape there are in that entire picture, or that entire, both of the boxes or both of the packages of tape. And because we're trying to figure out how many pieces there are in all, or how many parts are in all, or how many rolls of tape there are in all, this is going to be a multiplication question because we have 2 equal groups and we're trying to figure out how many items are in both of those groups. Brendan has 24 pipe cleaners. He is using them to make little animals. He wants to make 7 animals. How many pipe cleaners can they use on each animal? So what we want to look at here is the fact that Brendan knows how many pipe cleaners he has in all. He gives us the total, 24 pipe cleaners, and he wants to use them to make 7 animals. And he's trying to figure out how many pipe cleaners they can use on each animal. So what he's doing is he's starting with his group of pipe cleaners and he's splitting them up between the 7 animals to figure out how many pipe cleaners can he use on each animal. And because he's splitting those pipe cleaners up between the groups, which are the 7 animals, this is going to be a division problem. You would do 24 pipe cleaners divided by 7 animals. You're splitting it up. So again, it would be division.